Hello, guys, and welcome to Mission Podcast. Today, we're talking about the biggest football team in the world. I was going to say the best, but after yesterday, I don't know about that anymore. And today, we're joined by the usuals, me, Danny, Salah, and we got two guys, first time on the podcast. We got Mahbub and we got Jacob. Thanks for coming on the show, boys. And we're going to get right into this, and I'm going to ask Jacob straight away. Give us your thoughts on last night's game.
Uh, no, listen, I've given a few hours to calm down, right? But I think the better team over the two legs won. We did not absolutely not deserve to go through. But we had our chances last night. But as soon as the 90 minutes was up, as soon as we got into the extra time, we just got absolutely peppered. And then penalties, it's just look at the draw, really, innit?
Yeah, fair enough. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, just to echo what Jacob said, I think the better team did go through over the two legs. I think they did battles. Alisson made I think it was 16 saves by the end of both the legs. So yeah, and we didn't take our chances at the start of the game. I think we were the better team, maybe over the second leg, but when it came to shove, I think PSG did what they had to do. They defended quite well last night, and then when it came to penalties, I was like, yeah, we're gonna lose this. I just didn't trust the shooters we had on the pitch. I had no idea why he took McAllister off. McAllister was gonna miss the next game anyway, so he might as well just kept him on. He is one of the better penalty takers in our squad. Same as Soboslai. I mean, he takes penalties for his national team. I thought he would have kept him on. I understand Trent got injured, but yeah, I felt like going into penalties, we had the wrong takers on the pitch, and Alisson isn't really great at saving penalties. So yeah, it is what it is. Not too fussed about it. I do think Slot will, give us European success eventually. But yeah.
All right. Mahbub, what do you think?
I'm going to be the same as the others. I think obviously PSG were better than us in both legs. Last night we were quite good. Well, for the first 10, 15 minutes, up until Dembele scored, I think we should have at least gone one up with that Van Dijk header because that would have put the crowd right up if we went 1-0 up, 2-0 up in the tie, probably would have killed PSG off. But yeah, they just took control throughout the game. And then obviously when it comes to penalties, it's 50-50. And it's just two of our penalty shooters. They're not the ones that you want to step up, but it is what it is. We played well yesterday night, but just couldn't get the game done. But yeah, credit to PSG. They have been brilliant in this Champions League. So they they're probably my favourites now to go on and win it.
What about you, Salah? What's your thoughts? I know you had a lot to say
You
last
know me,
night.
man. It was a tough game to handle, man. It goes back to that saying, innit? The midfield they wins you the games, and in PSG's case, they won in the game even though they won on pens. But it's the way they controlled the game was just too good for us. We had gaps in midfield, man. But we started the game so well. I thought maybe we could have nicked a goal, but then again, I think PSG scored in the 30th minute, and as soon as they scored, it was just that relief, like, oh, we did all that at the Parc des Princes just to concede in 13 minutes. So it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, and especially the way we lost it on pens. Like again, all boys have alluded to it. Like as soon as we saw Nunez stepping up to the pen, there's not really much you can do. Like of course, like me, I'm gonna back my player. And whoever steps up to take the pen, I'm gonna put confidence in them. But Nunez is just one of them again. Mind-boggling decision to take off Soboslai and McAllister because Soboslai's never missed a pen for Leipzig. McAllister, he was Brighton's penalty taker, so they proved penalty takers. But I think they were a bit tired when it came to extra time, and we did start to lose our energy. Like PSG were just playing it around us
Mm.
in the last half of extra time. So I mean, the fact that he did sub off Maka and Soboslai, it's not the most outward decision, but it's just things had to go wrong in it. Like you had to take the risk, slot with the
Mm.
risk, and it just didn't pay out.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see why you took him off though, because we have got a final on Sunday, and obviously 120 minutes, potentially play 120 minutes on Sunday. That could go to extra time and pens as well. You never know. It's one of them, innit? You don't want an injury going into the final, especially with Trent coming off injured. You've got no Bradley as well at the moment, so it's one of them, innit? You don't want more injuries before a final, but obviously the pen takers. The less I speak on Darwin Núñez at the moment, he's just one of them players in it. Thing is, the other week at the Parc de France, he came off the bench and he's brilliant. He got that assist for the Harvey Elliott goal. That smash and grab was unreal as well, and we can't even celebrate that anymore. That's what like annoys me the most, because that could have been like an all-timer game. You're gonna watch the highlights of all the time, and then 16 minutes or whatever it was when Dembele scored. I think the whole stadium went flat as well. You could just tell, like, it wasn't the same. I mean, Jacob was at the game, innit? So, atmosphere went flat, innit?
Yeah, defo, 100%. Obviously tried to rally everyone up after they had scored, but again, like, their noise just completely dominated us. And it felt like a home game for them at times. That's how quiet it was, because honestly, you had them with the drums banging around, where you get the odd song going, but it wasn't great last night. First 10 minutes, don't get me wrong, incredible. And I thought, oh, we're in for an all-timer here. And then again, Dembele got that goal, and you're just like, like, this is going to be one of these now. But yeah, the atmosphere didn't step up when it needed to. And obviously, there's been a lot of critics about the atmosphere this season, how we are failing to back the players in times where we need them most. And last night was one of them. And again, we failed to do so. And obviously, look what's happened.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. There's been games I've been there as well, just not been up to standard. But I think that goal just took the life out of everything. I think the players look really exhausted as well. I think every single player was like, they just looked tired. They didn't want to run. Like, Gravenberg was tired. Even Salah, Noon Mensch was absolutely destroying him. It was a one-off game for him, obviously. He's been our best player for the however many years now, but it happens, obviously. I'm not going to put blame on him, because that man is dragging us to a league title. He's playing with absolute idiots up top. Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota. And I love Diogo Jota. He was one of my favourite players, but it's time to go. It's time to sell him in the summer, I think. He's too injury prone. And then every time he comes back, he needs too much time to get back into, momentum. What were you going to say, Danny?
I was gonna say my main issue with last night was how much we rely on Salah. If Salah doesn't step up for 2, 3 games, who do we look to? There's no real other attackers that can consistently. I mean, Diaz will get a goal once every 3, 4 games. Nunes will pop up once here in a while. I think Gakpo has been the more consistent out of the four. Jota is just injury prone. He's not reliable. So yeah, I think we've relied too much on Salah, and it comes a bit where you do need other attackers to start chipping in games like yesterday. I mean, in the second half, you must have seen where Diaz and Nunes were just the ball ran for the ball and they just ran away from the ball. I have no idea what were they doing yesterday. So yeah, my main issue is that if Salah's not performing, the rest of the attack doesn't perform. If Salah's performing, then he does help the rest of the attack as well. So in the summer, I think we do need a big clear out up front. Maybe, I mean, we do need about 3 attackers up front, but I think we'll probably get rid of 2 and get 2 in.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the difference in it that we used to have in Mane and Bobby compared to now. Because if Salah had an off game, you can rely on Mane or Bobby to step up, especially in the Champions League. Mane loved the European night, but it's just one of them, innit? He can't do everything on his own. And, of course he had a bad game. I'm first to admit that, but there's no point slandering the man, because everyone can have a bad game. It happens. But it's just one of them games. It's like Atletico Madrid a few years ago. It's just, I feel like we were always meant to lose this game. It was just one of them, like, we were just going to lose. You just had a bad feeling about it all day. Especially because it was the same day as the Atletico Madrid game. As soon as I seen that on Twitter, I thought, shit, we're going to lose this.
And you know what's funny? It was Robbo's birthday, and the previous 2 times we played on his birthday, we've lost both games, which just literally just shows that everything's against us. What was it? 2023, we lost to Bournemouth away 1-0, Robbo's birthday. 2020, we lost to Atletico Madrid at home, Robbo's birthday. Yesterday, we lose to PSG, Robbo's birthday. I think we just get rid of him so we don't have anything to do with playing on his birthday anymore.
It's gone anyways in the summer. He's going.
No, I don't think he goes, I think Tsimikas goes and Robbo becomes second choice.
Yeah. But one thing I also want to add, we are the most hated club in the whole sport. Yesterday just cemented that for me. When have you ever seen a club have 2 hate watch compilations? 2, not 1, 2. One from Atletico Madrid 5 years ago and one from yesterday. It's just, come on, man. Like, how hated do we have to be? And then it's just delusional. And then you have guys like saying, "Oh, Salah this, Salah that, Salah couldn't turn up." And it would have been the same for Vinny today if Madrid hadn't gone through in pens. I
And
think we'll
Mbappe
talk
too.
about that later. Yeah, Mbappe too. But to be fair, he did win the pen for Vinny,
Yeah,
but I didn't really watch the game. I had to go quickly pray.
neither did
So
I. Only watched like I turned the TV on,
yeah,
Vinny skied it.
Yeah, same.
yeah.
But that penalty shootout was. Don't get me started on Alvarez. That was
Bro,
the most
that's crazy.
unluckiest thing I've ever seen.
That's an absolute
No,
farce.
it was the slightest double touch as well. That's what annoys me is that it's so harsh.
Yeah,
Even Michael Richards was said it on the post show. Like if you're watching it in real time, you generally can't see it.
you don't see
You
it.
can
Yeah,
only see it when it's so slowed down. So that's what makes it 10 times harsher. So again, bro, Madrid just got all this juju with them in it.
yeah. I've never seen VAR in a penalty shootout. By the way, that's the most wokest thing I've ever seen in football. The game's fully gone. VAR in a shootout is mad.
If that's any other club, I don't think they're gonna disallow the goal. It's just Madrid.
Yeah, it's UEFA Madrid. It's one of
I
them.
want to go
Every
back to
single.
your point about our attackers on there.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, Diogo Jota, I think if we get 40 plus mil for him, just get rid of him this summer.
Yeah,
Like he's done his best for us, but he's come to a point where he's struggling with injuries and you can't just rely on him anymore.
yeah, I agree. I feel like he's one of my favorite players. I love the guy to bits, but he's not the gunman he used to be. Like he just keeps getting injured, and we need a striker that's consistently available and he's gonna finish. Because obviously, when you come back from injury, you need time to get back into the flow state of things as well. Because I think before he got injured this season, at the start of the season, he started well, and then he got injured, and then he came back, then he got injured, then he came back, as you do with Diogo Jota. Every single season, he does the same thing. He'll reel you back in with a couple of good goals, and then he'll get injured, and then we'll go a phase with Darwin Núñez where we're calling out for Diogo Jota. But now he's come back, and since he's been back from injury, he's not really done much. I can't remember the last time he scored, to
This
be honest.
this is the problem though, isn't it? That again, this goes back to the old school saying that you'd always prefer a player to have the availability over the ability.
Mm.
Jota right now is providing none of it. So like you've got to think of it like now he's given us 3, 4 years of very good service. Like let's not forget what Jota has done.
Oh yeah, of
He
course.
scored very good goals. Even in his first season, he was bagging. Even the season where we went 22-23, he was very good in the tower. He scored against Seagas at the Etihad. So I think it's one of this that we're gonna have an overhaul in the summer. We have to. So if there's we've got to get rid of 2, 3 attackers, and if Jota's part of that, he's one of them that can go with his head held high, unlike maybe Nunez or Diaz. So it's just sad again how it's ending, but hopefully he can pick up a couple goals, pick up some form before the season ends. So yeah.
I mean, another thing
But the
regarding the
one thing,
summer. Oh, go for it, Bubs.
now you go.
I was gonna say another thing regarding some of the three big contracts. Van Dijk came out today and said, we're not any closer. I think Trent's gone. I think Trent might have played his last Champions League game for us last night, which is mad to think about.
He was so good as well last night.
Yeah, I
He
think
was
Trent was
amazing.
good. I think the first half he was a bit iffy, but I think second half he was really good. He created some chances. We did create some good chances. I thought Robertson as well. Second half, he made some good balls, but we just couldn't finish it at the end. It's just the final product. It wasn't there. Even that the header that Jota missed. I think it was from a corner. The free header Jota, and he just completely missed it.
Yeah,
Sad.
It just it wasn't meant to be
Yeah, I
last
think
night.
yeah, no, 100%. Because like you're saying, Robertson was like he was great last night, putting some good crosses, but obviously our attackers couldn't take their chances at the end of it. But Trent, he impressed me so much in that second half. Like he wanted us to get that goal, and obviously got well. Diaz was offside, so he didn't really do much. But if we scored then, we would have been all over them after that. Trent's injury just um demoralised the whole thing, and now he's going to be out for Sunday as well. That's not he missed last year's Carabao Cup final as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he
And
did.
he's missing
Bradley
this
played.
year's one again.
Yeah,
We
but thing
can't
is, we
get
don't
rid
And
even
we
of
have
don't
him.
have
Conor
Bradley
Bradley.
for this Sunday as well. So we're playing what Kwanzaa, I
Quan's a
think,
right
will
back, I'm
probably be
assuming.
sent right back.
I mean,
Kwanzaa plays
Kanati
like
came off injured, so I just hope
Nah,
I
he's
think
back.
I did now say
said it
notice
was just
before.
tiredness.
It was
Yeah,
just
it's tired.
tiredness. Good. But
Yeah,
once
Slot
the
came
right
out and
back.
said it was just tiredness, but Trent is out.
But the thing is, last season we came into that final with a million injuries and still won it. But this season, Newcastle, they have a lot of injuries. So it's one of them, innit? It's just whoever's better on the night. In a cup final, I think form goes out the window as well. It's just one of them, like anything can happen. And Isak's back now. So I mean, and he's terrifying to play against. I wouldn't want to play against Isak, especially,
Yeah,
without a proper right
we
back.
playing for us next season, anyways.
I hope he is. I hope he is. I just imagine the team is Salah and Isak in.
Yeah,
We'll have to
But
win the
one
I
cup with
think
thing,
that.
James are made.
one thing about Salah is I think yeah, last night he got it spot on. I think he coached a win, to be honest. I think the attackers did let him down. The subs, I think he got spot on. I get why he took off McAllister subs, like they were injured. We've got found out on Sunday. But I think the fact he's won a league title without any of his signings just shows that he's a very capable manager. We just need to get the right profiles for him in the summer, and I think he'll do wonders with the squad. For a player
And
like
I think,
Gramovich, for a player like Gramovich,
mm,
I think he just ran him to the ground because he didn't trust anyone else. There was a reason he wanted Zubimendi in the summer. That was his preferred number 6. So I think
yeah,
I do trust us to get the right profiles in the summer and hopefully kick on again next season.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. That now that game shows you exactly why we wanted Zubimendi so badly. Because in these type of games, the midfield we started off with, when I was watching that game, none of them were really press resistant. We were getting pressed very badly.
Yeah.
And McAllister was losing the ball a lot. Gravenberch is normally our best player, especially on the half turn. But even Gravenberch over both legs, again, he just looked tired. And Soboslai isn't your natural player of getting out of the press. So I think that's where Zubimendi would have been perfect. Like, Zubimendi is not that type of player that he's going to turn this, that, but like the passes he'll play, he'll easily get you out of press. And you saw that with Vitinha and Joao Neves, the way they control that midfield with their technical capabilities.
Yeah, I
Like, I'm
thought Vitinha was
hoping,
brilliant.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping we go back in for Zubimendi in the summer. I know it's going to be tough because I think Arsenal are very close to signing him. They have like an agreement ish. But even if we don't sign Zubimendi, we've got to sign someone that's very technical in that middle because we lack a bit of it now. I mean, there's Jones, but I don't know, man.
I mean, we are coming, hopefully, if everything stays the same, we're coming off a Premier League title win and hopefully a Carabao Cup win. So it's going to want to attract players. Slot's got a nice project,
Mm.
but, I think the big concern for me in the summer is the 3 contracts. I think that's what I'm worried about the most because I don't think Salah's replaceable at all. I don't think there's a single player on the planet who can come in and like get them numbers that we will go out and sign. Because you're gonna need someone like an Mbappe, like a Rafinha, well even Rafinha or like a Dembele. I don't think they get these numbers in the Prem that they get in La Liga or Liga. As good as they are, and they are brilliant players, getting these numbers in the Prem I think is harder. But I think someone like Salah you just can't find anywhere else. He's just one of them once in a generation players that we'll have, like a Steven Gerrard. We'll never replace Steven Gerrard. We'll never replace Mohamed Salah.
It goes back to something I was listening to a couple of days ago from James Lawrence Olcott. We was talking about Salah, and he goes like, "It's gonna ultimately cost you more to replace Salah than to tie him down." And okay,
Yeah.
even if you do bring in a Salah replacement, we're not going to sign Rafinha, we're not going to sign Mbappe. The one who's linked the most is Johan Bakayoko. So you see how much Salah provides to the team in terms of
Mm.
goals and assists, and not even just that, but his output. You think someone like Bakayoko could come in and do that? And even if you do bring in Bakayoko, you're going to have to give him a season or so to develop. Right now, our team is at the top. We just need
Mm.
2, 3 signings to just kick on, and we should be going for that league again next year and going back to the Champions League. But if
Definitely.
we let Salah go, then again, we're building up. And I don't want to build up anymore because me personally, I've had enough of developing now. I just want to see us win, honestly, because we had 2, 3 rebuilds on the clock. Some of them went well, some of them we just got unlucky. But now, especially with the striker position, I don't want João Pedro to develop him. I want a ready born striker. If the ownership do it, they do it, but they need to show their ambition now in the summer, innit?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But again, it's one of them things. It comes back to will FSG buy? It's one thing, we know every season they apparently have a war chest for the summer for the past, 5 seasons, but we're yet to see that. Obviously, last season we signed Chiesa, I mean, I was happy with Chiesa. I'm a big fan of him pre-ACL, but I mean, I know Jacob loves Freddy.
And Jacob happy.
It's, I can't lie, I love him so much. What a gorgeous pattern. What a gorgeous man.
But obviously, it hasn't really worked out. He's only scored against Accrington. He's not even getting minutes. I don't think Slot rates him at all, sadly. So,
He's
It's
not even
sad,
going to get
isn't
a
it?
medal.
hey,
He's actually not even going to get a medal, man. It's so sad.
I was gonna say it's sad, like when you see him in Euro 2021 and you see he was at the height of the sport, that
Ah,
semi-final
Yeah,
against
yeah.
Spain, all them spaghetti mafia edits. Like I wanted him so badly then.
we all
Like
did.
after that, I
Yeah,
wanted him so badly, and we were linked with him. But
yeah, I
again, the price
remember.
was too high. But the ACL just ruined him. As people say, the ACL injury is so hard to come back from, and I think in Chiesa, that's his case as well. That he's lost a bit of his raw speed, which he was known for. I mean, he's still
Mm,
got a good left foot on it. I mean, right foot, sorry. But it's just an unlucky scenario for him because this is where you would want Chiesa in these moments, like yesterday. Like you don't have Salah with the energy, or you don't have Diaz with the energy, but then you have Chiesa to bring on with a bit of pace and he can finish across goal. But I don't know what's just gone wrong with Chiesa right now.
I don't
I
think he's
mean,
done anything wrong in particular. Obviously, that Plymouth game was horrid, and he was horrid in that Plymouth game. So maybe that's why. But I don't like. I'm not gonna say like the manager's being unfair by not giving him, but I feel like he should be getting a bit of a look in at least. Obviously, last night was a massive game, and I kind of understand why he doesn't like get brought on. And I was thinking he was going to come on against Southampton, but the way that game was going, obviously we were like 2-1 up until like the 80th odd minute, and then we scored the third. So I see why he didn't manage to come on because we need to bring Enzo on to get the make sure we get it over the line and that. But
mm,
I feel like there's times and games where he definitely can come on and make an impact, and obviously get recover from that absolutely horrid Plymouth cameo. But yeah, obviously again, like Salah said, he's lost most of his raw speed, and it is sad to see. And obviously, in a way, it's like Diaz. Obviously, Diaz had that massive, massive injury against Arsenal. I feel like that took, I wouldn't say took his speed away, but it's definitely took a bit of his confidence away in that because that man in his first year was taking on players. He wasn't afraid to beat his man, cut in, and shoot. Now, when you watch Diaz, it feels like he's scared to beat his man. He'll go at his man, he'll run at his man, stop, go back, either try again and lose it, or just play it back. So I think that injury on Chiesa defo had a massive knock-on effect, and I feel like that's the exact same for Diaz.
yeah, I think that leads us on nicely onto our next point, which is I want your guys' overall thoughts of the season so far and what you think of Arne Slots' first season. Did it meet your expectations? Is it above expectations, as I assume it is for most of us? I'm going to start with Mahbub.
Yeah, for me, yeah, for
Yeah,
me, I think this season's been way above my expectations because I was just expecting us to get top four, maybe a good run in the Champions League, like quarterfinals, semi-finals, and like a domestic cup. But obviously, we've gone on to nearly win the league. We're gonna hopefully win the domestic cup on Sunday. It's just Champions League was a bit poor, but other than that, it's been sensational. No one expected this to come
mm,
in after Klopp, 9 years of Klopp, and you see this man, just a random geezer from Feyenoord, and he's just taken us to a Premier League win in his first season. What else can you ask for? If he won the Champions League at the Prem, that would have been like football would have been completed for me if we won the double in the first season. But obviously, you can't get everything. But hope I can see that we will win something in Europe under Slot. I can feel it in like a year or two. So hopefully it does carry on like that. But yeah, for me, best season, and hopefully he gets what he needs in the summer, and we can go again next season and try and get number 21 and beat United and go on top of the most league titles in England.
yeah. I mean, I think you made some good points there. I think not many people expected this as well. I'm going to go to Danny. What do you think?
Yeah, same as Mahbub. I feel like this season has wildly exceeded my expectations. Before the start of the season, I thought maybe a good cup run, quarters in the Champions League, and maybe third or fourth in the league. I didn't expect us to win it at all. The fact he's going to deliver a league title in his first season is just crazy. I would have never thought in a million years we would have won the league this season, which just shows how good of a manager he is. I mean, from the start, we've seen how much he's adapted. That Forest loss, I think, taught him lots, especially about the subs he was making. Because that game, I think he was his in-game management was horrible. But from that game, I think he's kicked on, and it feels like game by game he's improving. He's getting to know the score better. Like I think the first game against Ipswich, he took off Kwanzaa at halftime, and from there, I was like, okay, he's a serious manager. He's not gonna have like his favorites. If you're not playing well, he'll take you off straight away. And he's been quite vocal about that in his press conferences. He'll call you out if you're not playing well in the press conferences. So yeah, I think we've got a bright future on the slot, and this season just has made me excited for next season.
Yeah. What do you think, Salah?
Yeah, I mean, when he joined, like, I mean, a lot of the people, if you've known me since the summer, like, Slot was never my first choice. Like, okay, I'm ashamed to say it now, but for me, it was always Amarim. But again, that's football, though, isn't it? When you don't get your first choice, you get your second choice. Your second choice turns out to be better than the first choice, and in that case, it's Slot now. I mean, again, at the start of the season, you had everyone write us off fifth, sixth. Like, no one gave us a chance. So then
Mm.
the fact that now we're going for the league title, and again, that Ipswich game that showed, like, yeah, this guy's on business. Because, like, if Constant played the way that he did in that first half, Klopp being Klopp, and fairs, people have different management styles. Klopp probably would have kept him on. But Slot showed straight away, like, he's not here to mess about. Like, he wants to give us success, and he's delivered on it again. One or two mishaps, but again, you've got to remember he's new. And one thing you've got to remember, he's been managing as long as Mikel Arteta. So at the end of the day, you can't really complain right now if he gives us a league title in the first season. Because the only manager that comes off the top of my head who's won the league title in his first season is Mourinho with Chelsea,
Mm.
and he's already put him so up there in the record books. So can't complain, man. Good first season.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Jacob. Give us your thoughts, please.
I mean, it's just been a dream, hasn't it, really? Like, we're top of the league, we're 15 points clear, it's March. We're about 6 wins away from winning the Premier League. If you'd have offered me this in May, when I seen some bald man from the Dutch league coming into my club, I'd have laughed in your face. I was just expecting, and like the others said, top three, top four, a deep Champions League run, and a domestic cup. That was my ambition for the league. And I think it must have been, I think it was the United away game was the turning point for me where I really sat up and was like, all right, I know obviously how dreadful they are, where no matter the manager, but like the way we just played it round them, and I was like, okay, like we could have something here. Granted, we lost to Forest the week after, but like again, like there's been games like that where I've sat up and noticed and been like, we've got a serious manager in our hands here. Like we're playing some of the best stuff we played in a while. That's obviously no disrespect to Jürgen and that, but like the players like Gravenberch and Gakpo that have been revolutionised under Slot. Like I honestly, there was times last year where I'd given up on Gakpo. Gravenberch wasn't getting a sniff, and I was like, I'd honestly just, and then the wheels obviously falling off. But then the start we had this year, and we had that incredibly tough run of games where we had City, Arsenal, United, Madrid, all in within the space of each other, and we came away without losing. We've lost one game in the league all season. It's been mental, I can't lie. And we finally beat Madrid. So that's kind of bigger than winning the Champions League for me. Any manager who beats Real Madrid gets a soft spot in my heart. So we beat Real Madrid, so we practically won the Champions League. We're about to win the Premier League. Should hopefully win a domestic cup this weekend again. That's up in the window. But yeah, it's been a dream season.
Yeah, I think I agree with what all of you have been saying. Some weird bald man I've never heard of before. Then comes, I said when he starts, if he wins us the league, I'm going bald. And in a few weeks, it's all gone. It's all gone. Um,
No, definitely never said that. I never said that. No chance.
I'll pull up the tweet size.
I'm changing it to and Champions League now. Like I made a mistake. I was meant to say League and Champions League. Just letting that be known.
I'm gonna shave my head. I'll happily shave my head if it means we win the league. I'll do it every single season if it means we win it. But again, I had zero expectations for this season. You know, I would have been happy with top four, Champions League run, decent Champions League run, and a domestic cup, like everyone said. I never thought in a million years we'd win the league, to be honest. Um, but this man has come. We've lost one game in the league all season. We've signed one player he doesn't really count because he's not fucking played. Um, and he's made players just develop into these, you know, world class players. Ryan Gravenberch, Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo, after United away in the FA Cup last season, did my head in so much. I said some horrible things about that man in that away end. My head was gone after that game. That was the most head loss I've ever had in my life, I think, of every
You're
game.
fasting that day.
I
You're
was fasting.
fasting.
I had to break my fast half an hour late because I was locked in Old Trafford because the stewards weren't letting me out. That day, I hated that day, and I blamed half of it on Cody Gakpo and half of it on Darwin Núñez. But the way Cody
And Elliot.
Gakpo,
Don't forget Elliot where he lost the ball at the edge of the box
oh,
and we got counted. Modiano to score. So you don't forget Elliot.
see, that was the game, or the whole season fell apart last season. After that, we lost to Derby, we lost to Palace, we lost to Atalanta. It was just a horrible run. We lost to Atalanta and Palace in the same week. It was just a miserable week for me.
No, that Palace game was all Curtis Jones where he missed that 1-on-1. Oh my god. There's so many moments in that season where you could point out that we could have won the league here, we could have picked up extra points here. Oh man.
That
You know what? I
and
watched that documentary. I was watching the last episode of it, right? And it pans to that week. So
oh
it goes
yeah,
to that week in Atalanta, and it shows us getting slapped by Atalanta. Then it goes to the Sunday game on the Palace, and us and Arsenal are level on points, and they've played a game extra. So we
yeah,
have a chance to go 3 points, or I think we're level on points with the same games played, and we play Palace. I don't know if Arsenal City was that day or
it was
something like
Arsenal
that.
lost to Villa that day.
There was
Yeah,
200 minutes, yeah. Watkins scored, I think.
yeah. That was the one. Yeah. So we were level on points with Arsenal that day. If we would have won, obviously Arsenal got beat, so we'd have been 3 clear. But then we didn't, and then Arsenal got beat, so we were still top going into the derby as well. And then we lost the derby, and it shows it all, and then it just completely falls apart after that derby. Just honestly, that it starts with the Atalanta game, then goes into the Palace one, and then the Everton one's on a Wednesday, and
And
it's
all
just
that was
Like,
in the
covered
space
in
of a month.
first 3 games. I'll
like
forever
that
hate
derby
people
was
playing Liverpool.
comical. The defending in the derby, that Nunes chance.
Núñez
Oh,
chance.
That derby, as soon as they scored the second goal, I knew it was over. I knew the league was over as soon as they had that game done. It's just, it comes down to the fine moments where you have to win the league. Like, who knows? Like, maybe if we picked up them points, we could have gone and won the league, but City was still strong. But again, it's those fine
Yeah,
moments that we need the lead and fine ones. And again, Nunez missed, so nothing different anyways in that. But
yeah. I mean, the
it was a
season
tough
was
one
going
last.
so perfect until like March. Just after we won the Carabao Cup, after the Carabao Cup final, Lash just didn't go to plan.
Sold our soul for the cup final, man. Like, it's ridiculous. But that Everton game, funnily enough, I know we were going on about that Everton game before. I remember specifically saying before that game not to give Everton a single set piece, not concede the most stupid amount of set pieces in my life. Where did both of their goals come from? What the first one is a cross in from a set piece that got cleared. The cross comes back in and Branthwaite scores, and the second one is a corner which gets crossed into the back post and headed in. 2 goals, by the way, and we kept giving them away. It's like we were asking to get beat. It's like we had something wrong with us. Just kept asking, like, please beat us. It was ridiculous. But I'm putting all that out of my head now. I'm putting that stupid documentary out of my head, that stupid season, and we're
Horrible
doing it this
documentary.
year.
Yeah.
Just a quick question before we move on. Just a quick one. I know we need to move on because of time. Which game do you guys hate more? The last season where we lost 2-0 to Everton, or this season where we drew 2-2 in the last minute?
Last
In the last
season.
minute, the last 5 minutes.
Last
Last
year,
season. Last season every
last
day,
Yeah,
year.
man.
last minute.
My head was
There's
gone after
nothing
the
worse
derby
than
this
losing
season,
to them.
but Arsenal is shit, so it made it a lot better in like a week.
You see what it is with
Nah, I
last
think
season
this
though.
season for me.
This season.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because last season, as soon as Everton went 2-0 up, you kind of knew we weren't really gonna come back. I don't know if they went 2-0 up. I can't really remember it. But
Did
Yeah.
they?
I had
Yeah,
that
they
feeling
did.
we weren't really gonna
Yeah,
come
they,
back.
They
Yeah,
scored
so
late on, I
you,
think, the second. That's when you knew it
yeah,
was
I
over.
didn't
It
feel
was
like we were
1-0
gonna
for a
come
while.
back. Like I kind of knew, like I was just sitting down, depressed. Like I know we're not gonna come back. But with this game, it's just like this season, the way we drew, and then the decisions that went against us as well. That made me that had my head on Mars. So that's why, like, it's a good question. That's why.
Yeah, no, it is. I can't lie. But there will be nothing worse on this planet in football. I'm going to say in football to say myself here because there's obviously worse things in the planet. But there's nothing worse in football than losing to them lot. Absolutely nothing. Because there's grown men walking around with tattoos of that night on their legs. There's people who have got that banner on Twitter. Then when you walk to Anfield now, they've got the little like things that are hung up on the traffic lights. Or
Yeah,
not traffic lights, the little
the
street lights
lamppost.
of
Yeah,
Goodison, yeah. It's of
yeah,
that game. It's of that game. And it was Klopp's last ever he'd not lost at Goodison ever, by the way.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
I
the
didn't.
first time he lost at Goodison. And it
I
was
think
his
it was
last
the
one.
first time we lost the derby with fans as well on the clock.
Yeah, it was.
Just
So I just don't think it'll get worse than that.
it's
Like
their
this
cup
one was
final,
bad
isn't
because
it?
they scored in the last minute. Exactly. It was bad this year because last minute. Don't get me wrong, but like again, obviously, in hindsight, Arsenal dropped points a week later, so
Mm,
it's a kind of all right. But like, oh no, like either way, either one's horrid. But I'm gonna go for last year.
yeah, I agree with you. I think I think this season I forgot about it quickly because we've been that good,
Mm.
and we
same, yeah.
didn't lose. You know, they won 2-2. They had a pitch invasion for a 2-2 draw at the end of the day.
So sad. I
It's
can't
more
wait
of a
to,
mockery on them.
yeah, I can't
Exactly.
wait to beat him in April whilst we're thinking we were going to win the league. That's going to be an amazing feeling. We beat him in
Yeah.
April.
I
Next
really
home
hope we
game.
do.
Next home game's the
Whoa.
derby.
Our next league game. Is our next league game? Yeah, it is.
Next home game, yeah, in the league. Our next game after the finals,
Yeah.
the derby. I think it's on the
International
second.
break, innit?
Yeah, it's
Batter.
international
International
break, then
break
FA
after
Cup
that.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a little rest after this, but it's one of them, innit? I don't like these long rests. I feel
We've
like,
got
Nah,
half
me
a month
neither.
off. We've got half a month rest.
yeah, exactly. We've got 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I think. But it's a midweek game as well.
Yeah.
But it's just one of them. Like, you can't lose to them. And I want to win all the games from now till Spurs because I've got my ticket for the Spurs game, and I just want to win it against Spurs, innit? I want to be there for that because I know if that game goes to like all members, I ain't getting a ticket. If it's like West Ham or something stupid, it has to be one of these games where I can easily get a ticket, or I already have a ticket for.
With free for all.
Yeah,
Give free for all that if it goes to all members.
you're alright. You've got a season ticket anyway.
Hey, I promised someone. I gave it up for a game, and I said he can have any game late on in the season. I really hope he doesn't pick that game.
He's gonna pick Palace on that one.
I'll just like delete the account. Nah, because it's either swap him a game late on in the season, or like I'll just pay him for the tickets. Like I gave
Yeah,
him, promised him my ticket for the pair that me and Meg got in Lower Main. So he was like, sort me for like Ipswich. He couldn't make Ipswich. Well, Southampton couldn't do. So hopefully West Ham. If not,
alright. Hopefully West Ham's not the one we win it then.
that's what I'm scared about.
Because if we draw the derby, it probably goes to Chelsea in it. But I think West Ham will be the next home game.
Yeah,
That's if
but
Arsenal win all the games, but I don't
Yeah.
trust them to win all the games.
Oh, that's true as
Yeah,
well.
Arsenal are awful.
They've
Arsenal are
got Chelsea
awful.
and Fulham next. I don't trust them to win either.
I'd love
they gotta play Everton.
I think Everton will bend over from.
Nah,
Actually, last
it'll be
time it
one
was
of
a
the final
0-0,
two
wasn't it?
games at Goodison.
Yeah, nil-nil.
It's one
It
of
was
that
the
two games at Goodison.
we were playing. Who were we playing? Fulham, or was the Robertson red card that game? And then it was 0-0, so it didn't feel as bad after we drew.
Oh yeah, we had Bobs hugging the other guys. Oh, I remember Robertson's
Let's
got a red
relax.
card.
We're not winning.
Well, their fans were so happy that day. Oh,
And
Just started
and the
going
fact that we
round of
even got a draw,
applause.
the way we played with 10 men down, we played better with Robertson off the pitch that
but
game.
that was an amazing performance.
We should have won that game.
Yeah,
So good.
I know,
We should have won that
amazing.
game. It was just
That
one
was
of
one of
them.
our best performances, and we had 10 men.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time Jota scored.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That when
Yeah,
you asked
well,
him when
yeah.
the last time
It
he
was
No
scored,
ages
way.
ago.
Has it
I
been
think
that
it's the
long?
game.
I think that was. I
It's
can't
been
think of
that
another
long.
time he scored since. Yeah, because when else has he scored? Did he score against Ipswich? No, I don't think he did.
He scored against Forest, remember? The
Oh
equaliser.
yeah,
Oh,
Forest away off the
yeah.
bench. Yeah, off the bench. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that now.
Oh, wait,
It's
he
because
came
he
on
got
in
injured
10
again after
seconds.
that. He just come back from injury, then he got injured again, and then he came back for Forest off the bench.
He scored a goal against West Ham when Salah made that nice run and then he played him in.
Oh, yeah. I was there for that game. I was there
Oh,
for that
yeah.
game, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was that
I
the
wasn't in the away
five
end, Jacob.
5-0?
Yeah, yeah, family.
Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah,
5-0,
I
yeah.
wasn't in the away end, sadly.
you
I
did
was
a
in the
one man
West Ham
job.
home end. It's impossible to get an away ticket.
It is.
100%. Especially in London, it's impossible.
Yeah. Moving
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Moving on. I just want to go on to the big one on Sunday. We got the Carabao Cup Final. 2 years running. It's Liverpool versus Newcastle. Um, and I just want to know, what do you guys think of the final? Are you worried? Uh, are you nervous? If you want to give a prediction, you can, but if you don't want to jinx anything, don't jinx anything. If you want to stay silent so nothing ages poorly, go for that as well. Are you worried about a couple of injuries we picked up as well? I'm gonna go straight into this with Jacob. Go for it.
Oh, I'm absolutely petrified. Sorry, I'm absolutely petrified. You cannot be the team that loses to Newcastle to give them 70 years. It's like when we played Tottenham in the Champions League final. If you're the team that loses to Tottenham to give them their first trophy, and you're the team that loses to Newcastle to give them their first trophy in 70 years, by the way, then it's such a bad look. It's such a bad look. It's a massive stain on the club. Like imagine we win this league and they'll be like, oh yeah, but you gave Newcastle the first trophy in 70 years. I just can't have it happen. So obviously, even whenever we play in a final, like obviously Tottenham, the Champions League one again, I was terrified, but then it is Tottenham. But then the same, like it's a Champions League final. You know what I mean? Like it's a completely different game. It's like a derby. All the fun. Everton could lose every single game in a calendar year. Play us and get something, and we could play we could play Southampton in a cup final, and I'd still be worried because that could be a completely different side that shows up. So I'm absolutely terrified for it. I do think we win. I think we do it. I think we win. We don't do goals in cup finals though, so I'm saying like 114th minute 1-0 goal. That's what it's gonna be.
Just
I'm
run it
not
back from
saying
last year.
2-1. Genuinely, but it's gonna be like early on in extra time rather than like I
Last
don't know.
second
It'll
of the
just be
game.
like a Gakpo cut back if he's on the pitch by then. Obviously,
Yeah.
Gakpo like cut back, and he'll have a shot that goes in far corner after like Jacob Murphy's at the bar and post for the whole game. And so yeah, I reckon we'll win 1-0 in extra time. Again, I thought Kwanzaa was good last night, so I'm not really too worried. It does obviously depend if they play Harvey Barnes after left, but then even then, I think if you can handle Usman Dembele, you can handle Harvey Barnes. You know what I mean? No, they've got a few players out. I've seen Tonali struggled to come off. Obviously, had to get him in there. Uh, yeah, but they've got a. Even though with their injuries, the midfield is woeful. Kamada's obviously a very good player. Joe Linton's back fit now for them. Obviously Isak, but if we're not beating Newcastle in the cup final, there's stuff wrong. But I'm confident we'll win out. I'm gonna say 1-0 now.
All right. I'm gonna go to Salah now. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know if the result yesterday is gonna affect these lot. Um, I mean, it's a game that we should be winning.
Of course.
When you looked at that semi between Arsenal and Newcastle, I mean, at that time, you probably would have preferred to have Newcastle. I mean, now you probably prefer to have Arsenal play in that final because you could easily beat them. Let's be really honest. But Newcastle is a good team. They're going to be set up nicely on the day. The atmosphere, they're going to have a good atmosphere in Wembley. Of course, we will as well. But I don't know, man. I see this being a dodgy game. I don't think we'll do this easily. I mean, we never make it easy for ourselves at Wembley. I think the last time I can remember we made it easy for ourselves at Wembley was when we beat City 2-0. when Thiago made that pass and Mane
Oh
scored the
yeah,
volley. That's the last time we had an easy game at Wembley. Ever since then, penalties against Chelsea and penalties against Chelsea
Chelsea,
again, which
and
was
then
last year.
last minute winner against Chelsea.
So last minute win against Chelsea. So I think it's going to be the same. I think we'll go to penalties on Sunday,
I
and
hope not after the other day.
I think we'll go to
Better not.
Sunday. I think we'll go.
Even with the
Honestly,
Darwin
I think we're
Sky in a
gonna go.
penalty to cost us the cup. Oh my god.
But you know what it is that I don't know what Slot's going to do because of course with Klopp that we had
Mm,
Klopp had common courtesy between Alisson and Kelleher that Kelleher played all the Carabao Cup games, even the Carabao Cup final. I
mm.
don't know, is he going to play Kelleher in the Carabao Cup final or what? Because if Kelleher does play the Carabao Cup final, I'm more relaxed with Pens because Kelleher is a better keeper at Pens
I'm back him on pen
compared to
shootout. Yeah,
Alisson.
I don't think he's lost a single one.
Yeah, so I don't know, not really sure. Did he play the semi final, Kelleher? Can't remember.
Semi final
Yeah.
against Newcastle. I mean, again, did we play in the semis? Oh, Tottenham. Sorry.
Oh no, I don't think he did actually.
I think Ali played the first leg. Keller played the second.
Yeah, that's what I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
Keller played
Yeah,
because I remember seeing Keller make some
Kelleher
good.
played the second leg.
Yeah, I think Ali
Yeah,
played the first.
Alisson played the first. Yeah,
it'll
Yeah,
be a
because
toss up there.
Klopp said Klopp basically gave Alisson the first leg because he literally came back from injury and he was like he needed some game time, so that's why he played Ali
Yeah,
first leg, Keller second leg. I think Keller starts tomorrow.
I mean,
Final.
Bubs,
Yeah,
you
if
want to
Kelleher
take over?
starts.
Go for it. Your thoughts on the
Yeah.
final?
You know what? I'm slightly nervous because obviously Newcastle, massive team. They've got massive fan base as well, so they're going to be proper up for it. And after their heartbreak from 2023, they'll want to get a final win after what 70 odd years, like Jacob said. And also, I was listening to the rest is football, and everyone on there, Gary Lineker, Michael Richards, Alan Shearer, they all want Newcastle to win. So now I know that the whole country is against us on Sunday. So I just want us to win just for that, because everyone's going to be hate watching for us to lose this final, even though we've got like a league title in the bag. They still want us to lose, but I think we do win. Hopefully within a 90. But if not, it will probably be. I don't think it goes to pens, to be honest. I think we beat them either in the 90 or in extra time. But it'll be a tough game because Isaac is back. And last time we played them at Anfield, they had no Isaac, so they struggled. Callum Wilson up top. And but the good thing is that they obviously are struggling with injuries, so that may help us. But then again, you saw last year we struggled with injuries and we ended up beating a fully fit Chelsea team. So it's a bit of a
It's one of
thing
them, innit?
where I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, that's the thing. It's literally one of them. You don't know what's going to happen,
Cup final.
but
Every team doesn't
hopefully
want to
our
win
players.
though.
Yeah, there's no form in a cup final, and
Mm,
because we know how Newcastle have been this season, they've been brilliant, so they'll be proper up for it. But we should win it realistically.
hopefully.
Let's hope we do win it within the 90 minutes so we don't have to go through any of that stress like we did in last year's final. And also, these boys are literally the same boys from last year's final, so they all have that experience under their belt. So it's not like we have any new players who haven't played a final before for Liverpool. It's just Arne Slot who has no experience with a final for Liverpool. So he should hopefully get us over the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I just
agree.
want to quickly add though, it's good that we've got the league title wrapped up. Honestly, it's very good that we're 16 points clear. Because just imagine in a worst case scenario, we've just lost to Pens, we just lost to PSG on Pens. We go into Sunday, we lose the Carabao Cup final. If we were in a title race with Arsenal, generally that could be season defining. If we lose the Carabao Cup final on the Sunday, if we were in the title race, but thankfully because we're not in the title race, even if we lose the Carabao Cup final, realistically we should win the league. But again, that's just worst case scenario, isn't it? Let's
Yeah,
hope we win the Carabao Cup on Sunday.
yeah. I mean, Danny, what do you think about this?
Yeah. See, it's a Carabao Cup final, so anything could happen. But I think we win comfy 2-0. I think like most lot games this season, I think we'll control the game. As long as we keep Isak quiet, I think it'll be an easy game for us. They've got Gordon out, Hall out, who are two of their best players with Isak. So them out is like a big advantage to us. But it's a cup final, anything could happen. But I think as long as we play our game, as long as we don't like have anything from last night in our heads, just play the cup final. I think we'll win. Let's hope the other attackers step up this time, not only Salah. I mean, I hope Salah scores. He has scored in a final in a long time. So yeah, I hope he does score. But yeah, I don't think it'll be that much of a struggle. I am confident for the game. As long as we play our football, yeah, I think a 2-0 win. I think an early goal is crucial because if we don't score early and just let the game drag on, then you don't know what could happen in the, latest minutes. But if we do score early and then, Slot can do what he's done most of the season, bring Endo on in the last 10 minutes and that's the game done.
Yeah, I agree with you guys, to be honest. I am slightly nervous, but we should be beating Newcastle in a cup final. But it's one of them. It's a cup final. We're coming off a loss. We've just got an injury to Trent. We don't have a right back going into the game. So it's one of them. I know they have their injuries. But we are a better team on paper. Of course we are. We're top of the league with 15 points clear. We beat them comfortably a few weeks ago as well. I don't know if Saj remembers that game or not because I remember him being pissed off his head, but it's one
Just
of them.
about, yeah. Just
Just about.
about.
Um, but we beat them comfortably that day. But again, they didn't have the best player, Isak. Isak is, I think, the best striker in the league. If not, top 3 to 5 in the world. He's one of the best players in the Prem. I think if it wasn't for Salah, he could be having a Player of the Year season. I think he's that good. I'd love him at Liverpool, but heavy price tag. But I think Isak is the biggest threat. But again, they could get a goal from anyone. Like last season, our centre back scored a winner in the cup final. Our attackers didn't do anything. We had a million injuries going into that game. We were playing players making their debuts in cup finals, like Jaden Dans. Came off the bench, had an excellent cameo. If anything can happen in these games, everything can go out the window, and you just have to be better on the night. But we do have a good record in finals, other than Champions League. But Carabao Cup, we've won. We lost one, but we won two under Klopp. I think we've been excellent at Wembley in recent years. We've won every game there since 2021, I think, or 22. I think this is our competition as well, we're the record holders of the League Cup. It's just, a nice little way to increase our record as well. It's a good trophy. But I think if we win this, the rest of the world is going to act like it's some tiny trophy and it doesn't matter. If we lose this, it's suddenly bigger than the World Cup. And, oh, you lost the Carabao Cup final, ha ha ha. That's the thing about this team, that everyone wants us to lose. Everyone hates on us. And, I enjoy it because when we win, I get to be the biggest shithouse ever, be the most unbearable person in the world. And I will be if we win on Sunday. And I will celebrate this like we've won the World Cup and the Champions League and everything, because a trophy is a trophy to me at the end of the day. And Arne Slots' first season, League and Cup double is amazing. That parade in May, I cannot wait. I can't wait till we lift that, seal it, and be, Premier League champions. I want that gold badge on the new Adidas kits will look beautiful. It's just one of them. You have to win this game. I think if we lose this, after getting knocked out of the Champions League, obviously winning the title is massive and it's way bigger than the Carabao Cup. For me, my favourite trophy is the Champions League. I love winning the Champions League. It's my favourite tournament. I think it's the biggest thing you could win at club level. But, after losing on, what day was it? Tuesday, we have to win on Sunday. I feel like we're out the FA Cup. It's a nice way to start a dynasty for Slot. I think it's massive for us because it just looks better as well. 2 trophies in his first season with no transfers. It's a big achievement. It's going to cement his legacy. It's going to get his face on that beautiful flag on the Kop. It's just one of them. We have to win. We can't lose this game. We can't lose to Newcastle because they haven't won. But it's one of them. You never know what happens in a final.
You know what else we can't lose though?
Eh?
We can't lose because I don't want a third hate watch camera. I don't want a third hate watch camera, please. I've had enough of them. I've had
I'm
enough
deleting
of
Twitter. If we lose, I'm deleting Twitter.
I've had enough. Man,
Same.
Pop Smoke is one of my favorite artists, yeah?
Yeah.
But when I hear Mannequin, all I'm thinking about is Marcus Llorente and Alvaro Morata. That's how cooked that song has me now. I don't want to hear it again, please. All I want to do is just win on Sunday, honestly.
I'd love a Salah goal in the final as well, please.
Same, man.
Non-penalty goal. I mean, I know he did it in the
Same.
community. No, that was a penalty as well, innit, in the Community Shield
Yeah,
against
exactly.
City.
Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was. We need a Salah non-penalty goal, but I'm not asked who scores. If Darwin Núñez scores, I will be the biggest Darwin Núñez fan. If Darwin Núñez
I was
scores in the
about to
cup final,
say, the funniest possibility here is a Darwin Núñez goal. Not even just for us because the amount of stick we give him. Because of them, they hate the guy. That man got two in their own backyard in one of the flukiest wins ever. And if he scored even like a winner, imagine like in similar circumstances, they've been all over us. We're down to 10 men. Nunes scores in the last minute and we win in like the most shit-housery way possible. I think that's the funniest possible outcome that can happen. But yeah, no, obviously Salah goal would be great and just a win, just a win, man, please.
I mean that
But
Darwin Núñez goal, I did watch it in Wembley on my phone. So
say,
Darwin Núñez in Wembley.
CM Punk Samoa Joe was in the ring, and in fact, I didn't even watch it. I ran down to the concourse just to find out. See me won, sprinted back up, and then Punk won. Unbelievable,
I had it on my
unbelievable
phone.
watch.
I had the stream on my phone. I kept looking up and looking down. CM Punk over there.
What a goat, man.
Go.
Now, unironically, right, the Carabao Cup is an extremely disrespected competition. That is genuinely one, and like obviously, listeners, they're not as prestigious as the others, but it's the first trophy of the season. That day out last year was absolutely
It's
incredible.
amazing.
Ah,
I
it's
mean, I
just,
bumped into you in Wembley away. You didn't recognize me.
hey, listen, man, I was off my face again. But yeah, no, I think it's such a disrespected competition. It's obviously, it's the first trophy of the season, so a lot of people want to win it. I just think it's another, obviously it's another competition, you know what I mean? So I feel like it doesn't get the love it deserves.
Yeah, I mean, before we wrap up, does anyone have anything to add? What's still out there twice?
What?
Why are you there twice?
No, it's because my laptop died, didn't it?
Anything
My
anyone
laptop
wants to add
died.
before we wrap up?
Mm,
Anything anyone
Yeah,
wants to add?
it's
Nah.
been a good season.
Yeah,
It's been a good season. We've had a brilliant time with these Reds. We're going on Sunday. We're going to win that Carabao Cup final. We're going to win the Premier League, and we're all going to be with each other in May in Liverpool celebrating that Premier League title. Let's go,
can't
boys.
wait.
Hopefully,
Can't wait.
hopefully.
I think that's a nice way to wrap it up. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far into this podcast, we're about almost an hour in. All our socials are above there: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Get at it, guys. We're almost at 100 subscribers, so please subscribe. We're very close. We're about 15 subs away. Appreciate you guys for coming on the pod. Nice one, Jacob and Mahbub, first time appearances. Lovely having you guys. And I think that's the end of this mission. Thank you, guys.